I thought I'd come and do a quick video as I'm already on the internet, just setting things in motion for the group on Facebook and what we're going to be doing with this upcoming full moon. I think it's a week tomorrow, the 5th. UK time, I think it's 4:55. No, it's 5:44. That feels really relevant, about putting things in order now for what's to come. So instead of me saying 4:55 and acknowledging it's 5:54, what I'm actually doing is stepping into the energy of the 5 now. And I can feel that. I don't know about you guys, but I can really feel that. I can feel it on a stress level, because 5, we are at that halfway mark and that point of change. But I can also feel the energy of the Heirophant trying to come through for next year. And it isn't time yet. Isn't that a remarkable sentence? It isn't time yet. The Heirophant for me personally has always come across, rather than perceived as dogmatic, which he often is, or she, the energy has always come across for me as expansive and being our own guide and our own teacher, and knowing that that knowledge is in there, not seeking it outside of us. So in July, the end of July, my age actually goes round to that of the Heirophant, which is beautiful. Since 2000, I've kind of been 6 months ahead of the year, like a sneak peek into the energies coming collectively, because in January we step into, on a numerical basis, the energy of the Heirophant, or temperance, the witness, the midwife, the sacred observer. And I can feel that energy trying to come through already. And I laugh at myself when I say it isn't time yet. At every point in our life, there is this opportunity to realize we are our greatest influence. We are our greatest teacher in everything that we do and everything that we birth or create. And that in truth, only we can do that to our greatest good. I don't know about anyone else, but this last week for me has been very interesting. I say interesting because that doesn't give it a negative or a positive impact. It just is. Maybe in trying. It has been very trying inside for me this past week. And that's been the emphasis. It's given me an opportunity to go within, to really look at things that are coming to light emotionally for myself. When I was setting up the event online just now, I don't really know much about astrology, but I know that this upcoming full moon is known as the buck or the thunder moon. And what I really hear when I think of these things is the buck stops here. The thunder, the storm, the Heyoka energy, the ability to turn things on its head, to flip it upside down, to really look at opposition and move forward from it, embrace it. So this full moon falls in Capricorn, and the bit that I have read is that it's on the Capricorn Cancerian axis, which has been going on for a couple of years now, since 2018. For me personally, that's all I need to know. Astrology is a beautiful thing and way out of my own speciality. I like to apply things to life, and I can take the aspect of Capricorn and Cancer and look at my own chart, and you can do that online for free. When I do this, yes, I can see the balance between home life that is coming up and personal life and career and what is needed individually and collectively. I can see from my own guidance almost an uprising of old enslavements coming to light and being broken down collectively. And when I look at my own chart, when I look at my own energy with this, because ultimately we bring it back to the self. Ultimately, what do I need to look at right now? What difference do I need to make, if any? When I look at my own chart, my mother is Cancerian and my father was Capricorn. my computer just went off. Glancing into my own astrology there are inundated fears of being left by the masculine, which ironically has happened several times in my life. There are consequences that have come from that where I haven't actually put my own needs first. And from that place of fear, I've respected the needs of others and not my own, which has ultimately led to the separation, because what was love has become codependent, has become what was once the lover's card has become the devil card, which is the energy that we're actually looking at with this full moon. The difference between the lovers and the devil, and is there any difference between love and fear? It's an interesting concept. It's something I was discussing with myself when I walked my dog today. And what I received, I'll just spray this spray. It's funny, I was thinking about the energies coming up with Capricorn and the devil card and chains. And I wanted to work with an angelic presence. And I immediately thought was Zadkiel, transmutation. And I reached up for what I thought was transmutation and the violet ray, and actually received the pink ray and Archangel Chamuel. What transforms everything? Love and peace. I saw the most incredible comment today on one of the social media sites, I can't remember which. When you are feeling tension, you are the person you believe you should be. When you are feeling relaxed, you are yourself. That makes so much sense to me. It's like someone just switched on this light from all those shadow aspects that I tried to fight, all those times when I didn't feel comfortable and I kept them quiet. Actually, we know that it's our body saying something isn't right here. We're being something that we're not. But it is the fear of judgment and views and opinions or shame or guilt that keep us in this being who we are not, that keep that tension. The difference between the 5 being a stressful energy next year, a dogmatic energy, or a halfway towards divinity peaceful energy, is being able to be who we are, empowering. So I was walking with my dog, I digress. I was walking with my dog, chatting away to myself as I do. And I found myself wondering what the difference between fear and love is. What is the difference between the lover's card and the devil? I'm both. Numerically, I'm a number 6. My soul path is actually both of them. So what is the difference within me between these things? And as always, it is perspective. Where does this perspective come from? By feeling what we feel. So they are both vibrations of light. Love and fear are both vibrations that we experience of light. An example that I was given, abundance. When we first tap into the energy of abundance and how nurtured we feel, how sustained we are, it's very light and it's very free and it's very up here. And then we face life and we need to apply that energy to all that we do. But as that love comes down, it becomes more dense in vibration. Of course, to come down, from an idea to physical form, the energy changes. So it comes down in vibration. We then are given the opportunity to experience this in our body. But as we do so, it will trigger anything that isn't in that vibration to be shifted, to be released, because this isn't what we want to bring down. We don't want to bring down our views of abundance. We just want this pure source of abundance to come down into all that we do. So as we bring this energy down, we start to shift the stories and the tales of others and our own. Sometimes we cling to those because they have made us who we are. So they could be stories of success. Yeah, they could be stories where we have had a certain obstacle and we have pushed through it. And that has given us great sense of achievement. And to release that is then almost seen as releasing the achievement, which we're actually not. We're releasing the story behind why the achievement occurred. But we can get very drawn into holding on to those stories, believing that is what makes us who we are. So this divine energy that is trying to come through suddenly has a smaller portal within us to get through. Then along comes another story and someone else's story, and the gap through which this divine energy is trying to be birthed becomes very restricted. Whether that is a relationship we are putting that energy into that suddenly has all these boundaries and beliefs, or fears, for example, of my own, of the masculine leaving. Whether this is a creative project that suddenly has a time stamp on it or a way that it needs to be. Whether this is a job that suddenly has a price tag on it or particular clientele. This flow of energy that was once light and love has become very dense and almost turned into fear. Fear that we won't make enough money with just this flighty idea that our needs are met. Fear that this love that we experience won't be returned with just this lightness here. Fear that our creative projects will be judged because they don't make sense. They're light. They're not applicable to the real world. These stories then become the chains of a very difficult birth. They make the passageway very small. They make the pain relief very limited and ironically increase the pain that we feel. So with this thunder moon, I'm aware of the time. With this thunder moon, what I really feel is the Heyoka energy trying to come through. Heyokas were renowned sacred clowns. A swig of my tea. The thunder beings, the energy from the west, jaguar, anything that destroys the ego. Now that doesn't have to be a painful process. One of the most endearing traits for us all, having walked this path, is the ability to laugh at ourselves, the ability to not take ourselves too seriously. It is this that empowers us to truly live life, to truly open the door to whatever is coming, whether that's a relationship or a job or just the next step in our evolution. To be truly open to that, we become the clown. We lighten up so that we can reach this vibration again, so that we know that actually in pure energy, this is what it is. And it is our role to feel that energy coming down through us, to have great gratitude for the fact that it is shifting these stories that isn't of this energy, not to cling to the stories, but to thank this that is coming down so that we can help others do the same. We do that by feeling. The moment we start to feel that tension, our souls know that that is how we should be, not who we are. So it ramps up that message. Well, you're straying a little bit. Let's bring you back. It is our role as guardians of this physical human body, this channel, to recognize and honor when something feels off. Whether that fits in with society, whether that fits in with our families, our partners, even our own views of what abundance is, what love is, what God or source might be. If it feels out of alignment, it is. It's as simple as that. One of our greatest guides is that of pain. However, we are very much, understandably, a species that when we feel pain, we go into our mind. When we feel pain, we try to do everything we can not to feel that pain. Yet we avoid the one thing that could actually help that, and that is to feel it, so that we can listen to those messages. This isn't for me. This doesn't feel right for me. That is the biggest chain breaker. That is the biggest way we be the rebel or the emperor of our year. That is the way we avoid the potential dogma that could be coming next year, by not telling ourselves what to feel, by not telling ourselves how to be, by not enforcing the shackles upon ourselves. Allowing ourselves to feel that, allowing ourselves to love all aspects that are being released whilst this divine energy comes down. So I think that's everything. That was totally unplanned, not what I was actually planning on doing. But yes, this full moon, thunder moon, this weekend, ironically, the day after Independence Day in America, great potential to break our own chains, great potential to realize we are not slaves to a game, but that we can actually turn things on its head by using this Heyoka energy, by saying the buck stops here, by being the opposition in doing things differently. One of the biggest things Heyoka energy is known for: riding horses backwards, dressing in shorts when it's freezing cold, giving away loads of money when there isn't enough, doing the opposite. How do we change energy? Not by giving it the same vibration, but by changing it. So if something is out of balance in your life, or you see something out of balance collectively, do the opposite. Try it. Give it a try. You get these same thoughts come through. Okay, look at them from a different angle. Are they true? Nice story, but is it true? Yeah, really flip things on its head. So I'm being called actually to draw a card. I'm currently reading or rereading Steering by Starlight by Martha Beck. Totally recommend it. An opportunity to get out of our own way and to truly let our higher self steer our path now. It feels so relevant for the next 6 months and potentially into next year. And always, yeah, and always. To lighten it up. We often think that that this energy up here is up here and we are down here. We can raise our vibration to meet that energy and then bring it down. So an example I want to share with you. When I gave birth to my son in 2001, in March, I wasn't really into any of this. I was a physical midwife. But what I did notice was at the point of giving birth, I went into a very deep transitional space, deep within my body. And in that place, it's almost as though my vibration lifted up to bring whatever needed to come down, down. And then I birthed. So over this next week, over the weekend in particular, like a thunderstorm, the pressure may very well build up. And to do that, it will then eventually release, it will then eventually birth. What do we do in the middle of a storm? We hunker down. We go within, take that energy, look at our body and start really going in and looking at what wants to come to light. And gently encouraging it to do so with love, not with judgment. Okay, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man's on the top of the pack. Okay, so one card for this full moon. The Hermit. Yeah, the Hermit and the Emperor. So these are by Chris and Donnelly, who I actually met in Canada. Incredible soul, incredible energy. And they are the Light Seers Tarot. And I love them because they use real people. And it just helps apply the energy to real life. So the energy for this full moon, or to help us through this full moon, is the Hermit. And I particularly love this card because we see the inner child here. being the light and just taking time to actually walk the path. It reminds me of the Wisdom Keeper, Moon Key Right, where we walk up a mountain and we actually connect with our Wisdom Keeper, which is great confirmation because that's something I would do in the group. But connecting to the wisdom within us, that innocence, that light over this full moon. For some, there may be pain there, so loving and nurturing that energy, empowering that energy to come out. I do also feel and hear that for some, it is more about empowering the adult to come out now, that a lot of us, our inner child is quite wise and ready, more than ready, to take almost center stage over this full moon. So that could be interesting. That could be interesting. It, like anything, it have two sides. Yeah, you can have the wounded inner child. You can have childish behaviors. And what are childish behaviors? They are coming from a place of pain, aren't they? That's what they are ultimately. What do they need? Nurture. I'm reminded of when my son used to have temper tantrums, and I would actually just join him. I would just join him, do the exact opposite of what he expected, and we'd sail through it. The moment would be gone. So acknowledging what you're feeling, whatever they may be, and just doing what your inner child needs. Now that could be play, very much. Yeah, the best way to lighten something up is to lighten something up. And it goes back to that not taking ourselves so seriously. There's an old cliche saying, I think it's something, we are atoms of gas on a swirling planet or something, and it just puts everything into perspective. Yeah. And then the card next to it, we have the Emperor. And I love this one in particular because he has a chess piece here. He's playing his own game. He's playing his own game. That could very well come to light this full moon also. People that are playing their own game. But we have the choice to join in or not. We have the choice to be the pawn or the person that plays the game. It's entirely up to us. So just taking a moment to go within, to see things for what they really are, including the game playing that we do with ourselves as well, and just finding solid, firm foundations from our own answers, from our own astrology, from our own connection to the stars, because underneath it we do have, I'm not going to go through all the cards, but I will show you, okay. We do have the star card, so we have a connection to our own lineage here. Yeah, our own vision, keeping that in our mind's eye, because then we have the Magician, and it's almost like our higher self sending messages up, and the Magician here is the one receiving them. So it's almost like that one belongs up there, and we're looking up. But on the other hand, what I hear is looking outside of ourselves for the answers almost disempowers the Magician that we are, and it can affect our own vision. So again, seeing things for what they are, seeing if they resonate, but being strong and firm in how you want to see the world. Because the last card I am going to mention is the world. How do you want to see the change? How do you want to see the world? Hold that vision now, firmer than you ever have. Don't be distracted. Stick to where it is you are and where it is you are going and what you know to be your truth. So I'm going to finish it on that. Have a wonderful full moon. Full moon. I don't know if I'll be in contact before then. Possibly, possibly not. It's about going with the flow for me at the moment, and that feels really right for me. So do what feels right for you. Be aware of what's going on, and just remember this energy, this star energy that is trying to come down. Let it come down. Let it shift what it needs to shift. Trust your body's ability to be able to birth whatever it is you need to birth right now. And just trust that. Because the Capricorn goat also has the ability to stand great heights and keep balanced, because he is grounded in these higher energies. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Have a wonderful full moon. And trust yourself. You've got this. Take care. Bye.